Hey there, friend. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever looked up at the ceiling late at night and thought, there's got to be more to life than this? Maybe you're going through the motions, work, school, family, responsibilities, but deep inside, there's this quiet ache, a restlessness, a question that won't go away. What am I really here for? If that's you today, I want you to know you're not alone and you're not lost. In fact, you're right where God can speak to you. Because the truth is, you were born with a purpose. Not just to survive, but to shine. Not just to exist, but to impact eternity. So stay with me, because today we're talking about finding your purpose, unlocking your God-given potential. By the end of this video, you'll be encouraged, equipped, and ready to step into the amazing life God has created just for you. Let's dive in. You were made for a reason. You are not an accident. Let that sink in for a moment. I don't care what the circumstances of your birth were, or what anyone has said about you. The Creator of the universe knit you together in your mother's womb with intention. Psalm 139 verses 13 to 14 says, "For you created my inner being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearful and wonderfully made." Fearfully, wonderfully made. That means you're unique, you're valued, and you're seen by God. He gave you gifts, talents, and passions for a reason. But here's the thing. Purpose isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are in Christ. And once you start understanding who you are, you'll begin to understand why you're here. Feeling lost is part of the journey. Let's be real. We don't always feel like we're walking on purpose, do we? I remember a season in my life where I felt completely stuck. I was working hard, staying busy, even doing good things. But inside, I felt empty. I kept asking God, why did you make me? What's the point of all this? And maybe you've been there too. Maybe you're working a job that drains you. Maybe you're a student, unsure of what direction to take. Maybe you're a parent, pouring into your kids, but feeling like you've lost yourself along the way. Or maybe you've tried things, failed, and now you're wondering if you even have a purpose. But listen to me. Just because you feel lost doesn't mean you are. God is not confused about your future. He's not pacing the floor of heaven wondering what to do with you. He's already got the plan. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." Even when you can't see the full picture, God does. Purpose is revealed through relationship. So how do you find your purpose? It starts with one simple step, getting closer to God. Purpose isn't something you chase. It's something you discover in His presence. Think about it. If you want to know what an invention is made for, you ask the inventor, right? Well, God is your creator. And the more time you spend with Him, the more you begin to understand what you were created to do. John 15 verse 5 says, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." Purpose flows from connection. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to stay connected. Start with prayer. Read His Word. Worship. Ask Him, "Lord, what did you make me for?" And trust me, He loves to answer that question. Look for clues in your design. Now, while purpose is ultimately spiritual, God also gives us clues through our design. What are you passionate about? What burdens your heart? What makes you come alive? These aren't random. They're often indicators of your calling. Do you love to teach? You might be called to speak the truth. Do you have compassion for the hurting? Maybe God's calling you to minister to the broken. Are you gifted in business, music, writing, organizing, building, or encouraging others? God placed those gifts in you for a reason, not to be buried, but to be used for His glory. 1 Peter 4 verse 10 says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." So don't compare your calling to someone else's. Your purpose doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just has to look like Jesus working through you. Purpose requires faith and action. Here's the truth. Finding your purpose is one thing, Walking in it is another. Because purpose will always require faith. God doesn't always give you the full roadmap. Sometimes He just gives you the next step. And that's where obedience comes in. You might feel unqualified. You might feel afraid. But remember this. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 says, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. Take the step. Start the ministry. Apply for the job. Write the song. Share your testimony. Even small steps of faith can lead to big doors of purpose. And the beautiful thing is this. As you step out, God steps in. He empowers you. He opens doors. He places the right people around you. And little by little, your purpose becomes clearer and clearer. Even delays serve a purpose. Now I want to encourage someone who feels like their purpose has been delayed. Maybe life didn't go as planned. Maybe you've had setbacks. Maybe you think it's too late. Let me remind you, delay is not denial. God is not finished with you. In fact, some of the greatest people in the Bible didn't walk into their purpose until much later. Moses was 80 when God called him to lead Israel. David was anointed as king, but had to wait years before he actually wore the crown. Even Jesus didn't start his public ministry until he was 30. God is a master at using every season, even the hard ones, to prepare you for your purpose. Romans 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." So don't give up. Don't count yourself out. God is still writing your story. Friend, you have a purpose. You're not forgotten. You're not too late. You're not disqualified. You are called, chosen, and created for such a time as this. God has placed something inside of you that the world needs. You're not here by accident. You're here on assignment. So start seeking Him. Start taking small steps of faith. Start using what you have, right where you are, and watch what God does with a life that's fully surrendered to Him. If this message spoke to your heart today, type Amen in the comments to agree with what God is speaking over your life. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel for more uplifting, faith-filled messages that will help you grow in your walk with Jesus. You have a purpose, and the best is yet to come. God bless you.